Hi, this time I want to talk about the number one thing that the dungeon master or game master must focus on establishing or creating in a tabletop RPG session. Before anything else, before even thinking about the session itself, the adventure, the scenario, you must consider this a priority. A lot of you already know what it is, and this is immersion, which can only be accomplished through roleplay. But it goes deeper than that. When you are running a tabletop RPG session, you are trying to enjoy something that you can only experience in tabletop RPGs and no other place. You can have all sorts of entertainment, fun, diversions when playing board games, when having conversations, when staging a performance, a play. But when it comes to tabletop RPGs, because they are active, you are actually interacting with a fictional environment as if you were there. This is only accomplished in tabletop role-playing games. Not even if you had virtual reality or some sort of exterior mechanism or machine affecting your senses. When it comes to tabletop RPGs, you create situations that are more real than reality itself. I've had people of different professions and trades that underwent or undertook activities in the fictional world of a tabletop RPG session that were quite similar or exactly like the things they do in real life, and they still felt as if the fictional activities were more real than real life because the human mind is so powerful. It creates these fictional scenarios through tabletop role-playing games that are extremely intense. Just like our everyday life activities, just like life itself, it relies a lot upon what you are feeling and experiencing, the internal processes. The experience of life itself is affected by your heart and your mind. And when it comes to the fictional scenarios, adventures in tabletop role-playing games, this is all completely created, manufactured, is that even the right term? Manifested by your own mind and the emotions that you experience while playing. Because tabletop RPGs are perfectly safe. They are not going to kill you. The imaginary situations are not going to kill you, unlike some crazy people would say otherwise. You can experience all sorts of situations from the comfort of the table. Now, I wanted to show you an ad. I hope the video doesn't get extremely choppy. This is from an old Dragon magazine from 2003, from a Gen Con ad. First, you have these people. Okay, careful now. We don't want the video to stutter too much. You can see those ordinary looking people. A mechanic, plumber, I think, a waitress. But then, through the power of imagination in tabletop role-playing games, they become this. Let's see if I can get it. Well, you see they are like a wizard and a rogue and perhaps a bard or something. So they change completely, and you can only accomplish this by role-playing and achieving immersion. Otherwise, you're going to be a mechanic, a plumber, and a waitress that are just rolling dice and making stupid jokes. But if you actually eliminate the unnecessary in the session, if you are always in character, if you are describing your actions, then you will accomplish that transformation, that journey into the fictional world. You will be there. And of course, there is that synthesis or combination of the game with the role-playing game, playing a game and playing a role. So the results of the dice, the bennies that you use, the cards, etc., they are part of the resolution. Once you achieve immersion, they happen on a second plane. They are not disruptive. because they are carried out in order to solve the different tasks, and it's part of the game. No matter the complexity of the subsystems and systems that you employ, as long as you enjoy them, as long as you are having fun using them in a tabletop role-playing game, because you play games to experience fun. If you're not having fun while playing tabletop role-playing games, there is something deeply wrong with you. So you have fun while running the session because you are enjoying those game mechanisms or mechanics, but you are also role-playing, so you should have fun while role-playing. If you're having fun making silly jokes, destroying the immersion, having a conversation, then roleplay simply doesn't happen and the immersion is not accomplished. You're now a bunch of out-of-shape guys or girls gathered around a table, out of shape in their minds and bodies perhaps, and you don't transform yourselves into those futuristic cybernetic soldiers or those cunning eldritch wizards or anything that you want to be. The savage barbarian from the lost civilization, or the alien creature with 2 heads and 5 arms. So it's all about that. If you want to prioritize something, if you have to prioritize something, let it be immersion. And this can only be achieved through roleplay. Please check out the playlist in the description, my Essential Concepts playlist, that tells you everything about tabletop role-playing games, because sadly, due to the business aspect that they just want to sell tabletop RPGs without properly teaching you how to play those RPGs in order to attain immersion, they have been taught so horribly, so wrong. And there is also the fake role players that they want to hide that they don't know how to roleplay. So they cannot tell people about roleplay and immersion, at least not in the proper way, because they would expose themselves as fake role players. Remember, tabletop RPGs are a unique experience. You are not telling a story about your characters. You are not watching a movie. You are not hearing a radio show. You are not reading a comic book. You are not having a conversation between the dungeon master or game master and the players. There is no conversation whatsoever between the game master and the players because they do not exist in the fiction. What exists in the fiction are player characters, and the game master is not there. The game master is playing the role of non-player characters and the game world itself. So prioritize immersion. Do not be led astray by fake role players and by the merchants that are just selling games without even properly telling you how to run them. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Thank you as always for your likes and your comments. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.